Ignore the pain that you feel. I feel it all the way going up my hamstrings. Like, but it stops like right around this area. feel it between my thighs. The one that usually ends up causing a lot of people knee pains. At least that's from my experience. My knee pain started going away as well. And a few other people I know from this and massage. So give it a shot. See if it helps you. That's all I'm doing. Helping myself. And if it helps you, that's great. You can look for a spot where it kind of hurts. If you feel it in your back and press on it, well, stretch it out. Try to relax into it the best that you can. It can be a bit awkward though, so if you have somebody that can help you, just kind of point them in the direction. What you can do is just press on it and then push down or up wherever you feel like it stretches. I can feel it now pulling more all the way up towards my knee and relax into the pain. I know that sounds terrible, but relax into the pain. Your pain is your friend, is giving you an indication that there's something going on there. And you want to tell those muscles to relax and let go. The more you do that, the more you relax and let go. Try not to be like, just relax into it. Let it work its way out. I know I don't do this on the regular. I haven't stretched like that in a while. I've been trying to be more frequent about it. But I unintentionally stopped stretching as much because how am I supposed to prove that some of these things work if I'm already super flexible? So I stopped stretching for a while. My back was hurting. My glutes felt tight. I felt stiff everywhere. My shoulders were tight. Everything was really tight. Like, you want to try to keep this in, not suck it in or blow it out. Don't let it all out. Try to keep it like in the middle and try to just focus on this all day. Focus on keeping. Bring your chest up. Bring your shoulders back with confidence. Be confident in yourself and your abilities. Don't let anybody make you feel otherwise. Don't let judgment affect you. Don't let what other people think affect you. Be confident in yourself, and your life will change. Just be confident and excited and be happy. Just think about it this way: be like, if I can stretch past my pain and relax into it, the pain will let go, and I will feel much better for it. And what's funny is how you release physical stress on your body, you can release emotional stress. The more you fight it, the more it hurts. The more you relax into it, the less it hurts. Oh, you know who have been feeling it definitely on that left one more than the right. And it goes up from the inner thigh on my body all the way up here. I feel the stretch. And it's relaxing little by little. It's melting away like butter on a hot pan. Just feel your body, let it sink in, just melt. Pretend you're not even here. Pretend you're not the body. Pretend you're not feeling the pain. Just let it be, you know? You can come up a little bit if you want, but just try not to be scared. The more you tighten up, the more it actually hurts. The more relaxed you are, the less it hurts, and the faster the muscles let go. You know? So you just want to do that and just keep trying. Don't be hard on yourself, you know? The one thing I have been working on is just being present in the moment and letting go of pain and everything in between, you know? And then keep breathing. Breathe. Check on your breathing. If you're not breathing, then you're not you're not helping yourself really, because you need the oxygen to go into the muscles so they can relax. And I haven't been breathing that much because I've been talking. Relax. I feel it like kind of messing with my ankle, but that might just be position. Yeah. Oh, I feel it stretching down now even further. A little bit more towards the ankles now. Oh, it's helpful to have just a little Ottoman, huh? Oh, man, it feels so much better. Now I feel like from having this open, like I feel a little bit in the hips. So you can kind of move around a little bit this way to kind of help with the mobility. And then same thing the other way. Just kind of go over and over. I mean, if you have enough space, you can just pop back and relax there. I guess I could just do this for a bit. Which will stretch out the back a little bit. And the arms. But I can't really do it so much from there. Whew. There you go. Alright. Alright. Let's bring these back up. And let's see how far I can go now. Ooh, yeah. Like, so earlier when I would bend my knees like this, my knee was doing like some kind of weird noise, right? But right now, since I've been stretching that inner thigh muscle, like my knee now didn't do all that. It kind of just popped regularly, you know? And it wasn't like a nice sounding motion, you know? It was, it didn't sound good. But now it doesn't sound like that. And it was a lot easier to move. So that's one of the things that happens. You just, boom. And the best way to really know of your body's changes to be paying attention to it diligently the entire time, but at the same time letting go of the pain. Don't focus on the pain itself. Focus on where it's coming from. You might feel it here, but it might be because this muscle is so tight that it's pulling on it. And then over here it might be very rigid for the same reason. Especially if you feel like you're very stiff, you don't got no groove or blah 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 blah. Your hips feel stiff is because you're not moving them enough. Think about it. We only walk straight. Like we don't go side to side when we move. We don't like dance around every minute. No, most of the time we're just sitting, and we don't even open our legs up, forward, back, side to side, nothing. We're just sitting. When you sit for a long time, right? For one, most of the time you're like this, so as you can see, shortens. All these muscles get shortened. So when you try to do this, it won't. I've been starting to stretch my stomach a lot more. It was a lot worse. But anyways, whatever. Um, so doing this, it compresses all this, and it could potentially move your bones around. And then when you try to do this, now there's pain, right? But it feels overstretched now in the back. Your shoulders hurt, your back hurts, and you can't. It's because you're now overstretching these muscles, and now these are shortened. And on top of that, they've moved the bones to a different spot. You're not, your shoulders no longer like per se here. Now it's over here and forward. So you got to check all that. You know, you got to be body conscious. That's my experience from what I've experienced with my own body, and then working with people. You know, being with people, basically playing with people and being like, hey, let's try this, let's try that. And then, boom, you know, and like things just start to go away. Pain starts to reduce. It's pretty interesting, honestly. Okay. Bending. There we go. Mm. Mm. Let's just pick them up again and hold this one. Okay, so low back. Oh, I'm starting to feel it again on the low back, but honestly, I'm feeling less and less of a stretch every time. Like, I mean, you saw me struggling earlier. Am I curving too much? I don't know. I can't tell. But it's still way better than where I was earlier, right? I don't even know what time it is. Oh well, it's probably not that late. All of this doesn't feel the same. I have like little areas where it's just tight in this area. If it's tight, you can always also do this and just press and yeah. And then, like I said, if you don't have somebody, like I mean, if you can't do it yourself, you could just have somebody do it, or just be patient with yourself. You can also kind of push here a bit. Let me see. And then relax your body, relax everything you can. I've done this one time before, and I was a lot worse in the back. And after I finished, I was just sitting there for 20 to 30 minutes, and I didn't think of anything else. I was just focusing on I was just letting go of the pain, just letting go of the pain, letting go of the pain, letting go of the pain. And then when, I kid you not, as soon as I got up and I started trying to walk normally, I ended up accidentally doing high knees. I don't know if it's gonna have the same effect because obviously my tension was never back to what it used to be before that, you know. So I mean, it got tight, but it was not that tight, you know. And when you feel like you're done with that, you can just open them up and do it this way. Because now it's stretching out even further on the inner thighs and the back of your legs. And then, same thing. And then you could just do the same thing and be patient. You see how now, this is where I'm struggling. When I go here, I can feel it like deep in here somewhere. It might be, it's definitely feels, some of the muscles on the hips are getting pulled on me right now. So I want to relax into it. So now when you start feeling that pain, you unconsciously start trying to resist that pain. So you start pulling back because you know this way doesn't hurt. So what you want to tell yourself is, as you're feeling it, let go, relax. It's okay. We're doing this to stretch you back out so you can feel better, so you can relax a little more. And if you feel like a jiggle or like this, like if you're dancing, so it's like it kind of gets it a little confused. It kind of distracts your mind, because in reality, what's keeping you back is yourself. It's your own mind. You know, part of you is resisting because you don't want to feel the pain. No one wants to feel pain. No one wants to feel hurt. You know, so just, but don't. The more you fight it, the more it stays. You know, so just let it be. Let it do its thing. Let it work its way out. You know, feels like my bone also wants to adjust the right leg, and I feel it's partially because for a very long time I stood very crooked because of the job I was doing. I was working at FedEx, and I would carry heavy packages all the time, like every single day. Like Harvey turned my route into a furniture store. So I was holding packages that were like about 100 pounds on my right shoulder, right? And I would just carry them. But because of that, I didn't think about it at the time. But I would curve my body to the left, so all these muscles compress. Then I would have the box here. So now I had the weight here. So now it's like I'm kind of messing with my back, right? And now I'm putting more weight on this leg. And this one is, all this side is now overstretched too. And all of this is shrunk. And of course, my neck is going to keep at equilibrium. So the neck's going to be stretchy here and it's going to be shortened on this side. Now, I did this for years. So think about it for a second. Muscle memory, right? And so with muscle memory, it helps, and it also like does the opposite in a way, you know, because the way you sit, the way you stand, the way you basically live is the way your body will get used to being in. And it will stay like that until you want to change. But, you know, if you don't, then you're going to be stuck. You might be in pain because when you try to return to what you used to do or what you could do, you know, you can't, because your body doesn't let you at that moment because you've been holding it that way for so long. So you have to let go. It's like, ask yourself, like, do I need to be in that position anymore? And if the answer is no, then do things to change it. Like stretch a bit more. I mean, some people, this is like, what is it called? This seems like a waste of time, but it's not if you're doing it right. So right now, I know I'm unintentionally pulling myself back. You know, I'm fighting it slightly because for one, I'm talking to y'all, but not that I can feel myself holding my breath because you know, it's instinct. But instead, relax into it. Even if your back bends, because I mean, in a way, you know, it's just like you're showing yourself that you're learning to let go. Even if it's just a little bit, you know, even if it starts curving, because even if it starts like kind of stretching here, it's helping here a bit, and it's helping you mentally relax into it. And before you know it, your body's gonna be further down than you realize, you know. And you can take breaks. You can go back. Like you can get up. I need to get up. Oh, and then right now, since I've been in that position, like the front of my hips are a little bit like tighter, if that makes sense, or feel like that. So that's why you want to get up and kind of like come this way and stretch back if you can. If not, just kind of like shake your legs around, shake them back, pull them back. You know, go in the opposite direction of where you were. And if you feel like, okay, I'm gonna fall back or something, right? I don't wanna fall. You know, now, but at least I know if I fall, this is where I land. And you can even do it once. And you're like, okay, well, that's the worst that can happen, right? Let me actually turn it around so I have more room. Alright, so there it is. So right here, let me just go back up. And then you can try the whole thing where they go like that. But that one's hard. Okay. Well, that's not the one I'm trying to do, but I'm just doing this. I'm just showing y'all that one for now because, like I said, this, like you've been sitting on it, this has been compressed, you know, and you want to move your bones around and everything, you know, kind of move your hips around. Honestly, when I would go this way before, it will be tighter, but it's not. And like so when I go like this, it's like you can feel kind of like how muscles so tight that it feels like it's like pushing against. While this side feels so loose, you know. And like as I do this, I feel it stretch all the way down here by the hip, and then right in this area, like I told you, because of that whole time I was at FedEx, you know, and close to this area, it feels like it, you know. So you want to go in all directions. You know, when you go down, you feel it back here as well. But like, keep messing with it and see how it goes. And definitely drink plenty of water. Take your breaks to drink plenty of water and keep going. You know, you can make a big difference. You just gotta relax into it. If you need help, you know, relaxing, then do what you gotta do. You know, put on your music. You know, like I don't condone to this, but if you feel like you can actually relax a little bit with like a beer or something, one, you know, do it. But definitely drink plenty of water because alcohol is dehydrating, and your muscles are not gonna like you later on. But you want that stretch, you need to be hydrated, which makes me want to drink some water too. Fruits, fruits are pretty hydrative, or how Yaki says hydrative. I love the way he says. I don't know why. It's like it's very hydrative. Anyways, um, yeah, no, I'm good. That's all I got for y'all today. Oh, look, y'all can try this, like feet pains. If y'all have some feet pains, real quick, like most of y'all have like plantar fasciitis. Okay. So, bottom of the foot, right? If it hurts, step on a marble. I know my feet are dirty. I was outside. Um, step on a marble, right? And bring it around this whole area, right here. Just step on it and like try to get it all throughout that area, right there. All of this, right? It's gonna hurt, but follow the tips as before. Try to relax into it. And even if you can't, but go slow. Don't just, because it's gonna hurt more. You want to go slow and like see how you're pushing your muscles up and around. Imagine like you know, something is really tight, right? And it has multiple areas where it has the pressure, the tension, like a string, right? So like here, from here this way, it might be tighter, but from this point on, it might be less tight because there's more, like this has more slack than this side. So it could be the same thing with the muscle. It's pretty much the same thing with the muscles. Nothing on as rubber band. So you're pushing the muscles back to where they go. You know, like for instance, you see how my toes are curved like that. It's because I was wearing shoes for so long that were smaller than they should have. You know, my toes are like supposed to be somewhere like this and be able to do all this. But look at them. Look at them. You know, that's how they look. But they're supposed to be here, right? And if you move your toes, you feel pain, you feel strain here. I feel it here. So you can grab like right there, those muscles where that area where you felt that pain, and then just move your toes like that. And in doing so, look at that. It like starts to relax, starts to hurt less. and just breathe through it. I'm not saying I'm having like picnic here, but you just gotta relax into it. And you see my posture is not perfect right now, but I'm trying to stay completely relaxed. And if that includes like letting go of your posture for a bit, it's fine. You're not gonna die from a little bit. Everything is all in what is it called? Whatever. You know the word. Ouch. That's a programming basically, because I always say ouch even though it doesn't hurt. But I do feel the strip now with this ankle. I've been having some issues. I haven't done the self care that I need to do on myself, but I'm letting you know this is what you do because I've done it before. I just stopped because for a while I stopped focusing on taking care of myself and started to just give and never received anything back. Okay, so you got to learn that balance too. You got to learn when to give, no matter to whom. It could be your children, your husband, it could be people you work for, whatever. It doesn't matter. You need to learn how to give back to you. If you never give back to you, you'll start taking from others like in an unhealthy way because you don't know where to get it from. But anyways, I don't know why. Whatever. So right now, like my ankle started popping. So whenever I started releasing muscle tension over here, all of a sudden it stopped hurting. Like the pain started to release, and I started to feel some tension over here, and I started feeling some pain. So then you just follow it around. You can press a little bit, and then just move the foot around, and then just there you go. Like you just keep pushing in certain areas, you know. Like for instance, I'm pressing back here by the tendon. There's the tendon, but below the tendon, there's muscles, as you can see, that affect the toes. See? Like sometimes you feel the pain here, but it's so tight over here, it's making that strain here, and then it's doing that kind of stuff. So then you just do that, I don't know if you can see. Let me move my foot over here. Let me see. So I'm pressing over here. You see? It's tight. I mean, yeah, it's supposed to move, but like, come on. Look how far it is. So I press, and it could hurt. And if it hurts, there's a problem. Do not ignore it. Just ask your body, why do you hurt so much? So I'm doing this, and ooh, Nelly. Like I could feel it across to the other side of the ankle. And I'm starting to feel relief. And all I'm doing is pressing on that spot, even though it hurts, and twisting my foot around. And in particular, grabbing the toe too and spinning it, because that's the one that's getting affected. I used to twist my ankles a lot, and I stopped wearing regular shoes and started wearing like the flat earth grounding shoes, whatever you want to call it, barefoot shoes, whatever, however you want to call it. My particular brand that I like is Zero Shoes. I don't know. The guy that advertised it sold me. But anyways, they've been those shoes have helped me a lot, and I've noticed ever since I started wearing shoes like that, I've stopped tripping. And like at first, yeah, they were a bit uncomfortable. Why? Because I'm not used to stepping on the actual floor anymore. I'm used to stepping on like foam. And whenever I do go back and put on regular shoes, because it's been years since I transitioned, I immediately feel it on my knees and I feel it on my hips. Like within 30 minutes at most, I'm already feeling I'm done. I don't want to wear these shoes anymore, you know? And I mean, I experiment with myself. This is my life. I do my things my way. And I'm just sharing my life. I not once told you gotta try this at home. You do what you want. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just showing you what I do to myself and what it's doing to me and how it's helping. and what my experience have been with other while interacting with other people. So like I've actually, you see how I have all these veins? I've actually gotten rid of them before from people, and it was from working on this area for someone, but you got to find out where yours is coming from, where your tension's coming from, because you also have to consider, like, where do the veins go through, where do they pass, like what muscles do they pass through. So all of these go this way. So if these muscles are tight, they're gonna impinge on this. You see how, like, when I move my arm a certain way, they were gone, but now they're starting to come back, which indicates that now, oh, and I can, once I brought my hand down, like, I could feel the pulse more over here. Now, some people were going to be like, well, maybe gravity is pushing them down, but why would it affect if I put it up here? It's from here. It's the tension that I hold here. That is like, this is the area that's currently impinging that blood flow. That's why when I move my arm here, it flows better because it's more stretched out. It has more space to breathe. But when I went down here, like, I can already feel the pulse being harder to pass through my arm, And so I have to be kind of like this to, like, relax that a little bit more. But, like, at this point, I don't want to be, like, compensating for the pain. I don't want to compensate for the pain. I don't want the pain. You don't want the pain to stay. You have to do something about it. Okay? So that's something you can do quickly for that, for your low back and everything like that. You know, uh, I don't know. Like, I kind of want to keep going. Whatever, it's my video, right? So I can do here on the forearm and do that. Like, you want to, if anything, do a fist. Don't make it hard. A light fist. Gentle. Press. Extend your fingers. And then bring it up. And you will feel it pull up. Or you will just feel the pain. But you'll feel or hear your wrist is tighter now. Right? And it usually happens because your muscles are so tight, they're pulling on the wrist to begin with. So by doing this, even though it seems like something very simple, it helps relax all those muscles. Breathe and try to stay relaxed. This hurts. Like, I have tension. I use my hands for work. I've been neglecting myself, but again, for the reason of helping you guys as well. I had felt it, I had thought about it, and I did it. I just said, you know what? I cannot, like, show and prove that some of these things work if I'm perfect, per se, right? If I'm already flexible, I've seen the videos. I know what it's like. You're like, man, of course they're gonna show the skinny guy going like, oh, look at that. He lost all this weight in 2 weeks. Or look, this thing can get you so flexible. Look at this person. I'm like, dude, that looks like a yoga instructor. Of course they're gonna be flexible. Don't give me the average Joe on there. Show me the proof. Like, if your stuff works so well, show me the average Joe using it and then being that much better in one go. Right? Whatever. So in that, like, as soon as I let go, I immediately just felt a little bit of blood flow. Sometimes you will get cold. If you're releasing a lot of tension on yourself, you will get cold. Okay? Be expecting that. Don't think you're getting sick or something. It's just blood flow's finally moving a lot easier. Oh, for the forearms, right? And for the top, you can go here. Same thing, lightly press down however you feel. And you'll feel it. Right now, I feel it. It hurts, but like kind of in a good way, right? And it feels like I'm like moving the muscles around and it's letting go, And you see this hand also has veins. Like, I haven't been taking care of myself either, right? On the arms, and it's been affecting me a lot. So, and then it's not like it takes a minute or something to go away. When you release the tension, when I did it to someone where I released the tension around their arms, like, I just saw the veins just immediately disappear. It was cool. It was really cool. I was like, what? I didn't know that was possible, you know? And it's just so neat. I got to meet a lot of cool people, a lot of interesting people. Everybody has shown me something. Ooh. Like right there, like if you feel like there's specific muscles that feel like bands, those are the tightest ones you have, right? Like you see how it kind of like jumps, like doing that. I mean, kind of helps separate it from the other muscles, but in reality, it's tight. So you find like the middle, I guess, it's a good spot. Like by doing this, I'm shorting the muscle, right? So then when I do this, it extends it. So, but since I'm pressing down as well, now it's an extra stretch. And when I release, it's like easier to move. So it's like my range of motion. You see how these fingers, well, both arms are pretty much the same. So if I go like this, relaxed movement, you see how my fingers are already curled. When I try to extend them, and you see how these are having a harder time because these are the tightest ones. This part of my arm now has to work extra hard to help with that, but because my hands are always in this position, these muscles are shortened. So it also creates problems here on the wrist. So by loosening these muscles and then pushing them up, you can put some lotion, some oil, whatever you want, like even cooking oil, whatever you want. Like some people are like, oh, well, healthier olive. And I use corn oil on my cooking. If I really need to, I'll use some corn oil. That don't matter. Just don't use motor oil. Anyways, so press here, and then like that. If that's where it hurts, if you feel pain here, and you're like and like for me, I can feel it all the way here in this part of my hands, like right in these muscles. And yes, these are muscles in this area. So you go like this, and then you curve. You see, look at my hand, how when I go down, certain fingers go up. So this is normal. And if I press in this area, it pulls some of them more. And it like the wrist doesn't want to go as far down. You see? So like depending on what muscles I press on, makes my muscles jump. Right? And that's also an indication that those areas are extremely tight. So press, like kind of extend your fingers, make a fist, and roll it forward, and then twist, and just twist, and twist, right? So now, if you're struggling with this, and you're like, let's say here, right? Well, so like for me, since I'm stuck with this one not being so tight, let's do something different. Let's distract ourselves from the feeling that you have from this stretching and play with your feet. Like kind of press on it, right? Press, 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 press. So you could just kind of jump back and forth. And if you want, put some music or something. I didn't put anything because, I don't know, silence is peaceful, to be honest. And so just, you can even shorten your toes también, and then just kind of rotate. Especially if you're having problems, like, why not double up, and then just distract yourself. Well, I have to show videos, but, distract yourself with that. So, let me see. So this, and then this, and then that, like, right in there. Like, for me, I can kind of feel that band a little more, Your feet are supposed to be able to flex and move. Don't be afraid. Like, just feel. Feel what you're feeling. Don't be afraid. Right now, I felt like a really bad pain in there, but I know it's because this toe is tight as well. Like, I've loosened my feet up so much before that, like, for instance, I was used to my toes being, like, basically like this, and now they moved, right? And the first time I stepped on the marble and did all the stuff on the bottom, the next day, I was still working at FedEx at the time when I was trying to run. It was weird. It was weird because my body was used to having my toes like this, but now they were over here, that muscle memory. So now, when I was trying to run, I was tripping on myself because my toes were not where I thought they were. So I had to relearn how my body is. And that's how much of a change is. Kind of like when I released the tension on my low back the other time, it was the same thing. Like I had to relearn my body because now there was barely any tension back here. And this part of my body was so used to fighting so much, the tension from back here, that now it was just flying into the air. So that took me maybe like 15 to 30 minutes to relearn my body, and then it was fine. But then it started getting a little tight again after 3 days because I didn't do anything about it. But again, it wasn't nowhere near as much as it used to be, you know? And then, like, if you start feeling pains on the knees, right? You like try to feel where. If it's like on the top, on the bottom, like if it's on the sides, And then once you do that, like you can always look up the muscles in online, Like some of the muscles, like the calves attach this way, like on this side. So, and then some of the muscles attach from here and go this way, obviously, so you can bend it, right? But when they get too tight, putting that pressure, putting all this pressure on this knee. So by loosening the muscles all around that area, loosen this knee up. I'm telling you, like it's awesome. It's awesome how much I've learned, because when I was in FedEx, I literally got to the point where all my joints all over my body were broken. Right? Like basically I had an issue. Like my knees were hurting, my back was hurting, my shoulders were hurting, my elbows were hurting, my wrists were hurting. Everything on my body was hurting. I would cramp up so bad. Like the worst cramping I ever got was after I chose not to drink water. Well, I chose not to drink water because even though it was super busy, super chaotic, and I felt like I had to like keep going without stopping, because I would have like everything would have gone to shit basically. Sorry for the words, but whatever, you know. Because that's how I felt. To be honest, that's how I felt at that moment, and my whole body, like I didn't drink water. I was dehydrated. It was summer. It was like over 100 degrees inside those FedEx trucks. Like especially if they're gas, the exhaust passes through the back, so it just makes that back even hotter. It's like a literal oven, and then you have the see-through ceiling that lets the heat in, because it's letting some light in. So now you got like the bottom cooking and the top. So it's literally an oven. And so I came back like bloodshot red, skin dried as hell. I was salt. Like there was salt on my clothes because it was the sweat. I was sweating salt at that point, I swear. And then when I got home and my body started to cool down, like I got a cramp in my back, so I stretched my back. Then as soon as I tried to do that, my stomach started cramping. So then I started trying to stretch my stomach. Then the sides started cramping, and I tried to stretch the sides. And next thing you know, every bit of my body was cramping. My feet, my legs, my toes, my arms. Oh man, it was painful. Like that was one of the worst pains I've ever had. But obviously I'm alive, right? I survived it. And what I've learned from cramps is that, for one, if you're cramping, you're dehydrated. And if that's not the case, you are too tight. Your muscles are like so stretched that it wants to go, like for instance, these back here, they're overstretched right now because of the way I'm sitting, right? You see that hunch, you see that curve. Since they're overstretched, they're trying to go back to this, but you're like this, and these muscles are shortened, and they want to go back to this, but they can't because they're currently stuck this way. So just like when it hurts for you to move this back, these are trying to get back there because they're overstretched, and when they feel like, that's when it cramps, because it feels like it spins like in a ball, and like tries to grab itself even more, And if it does end up happening, now that muscle is closer, but now the ligaments that it attaches to are now like more stretched out. because the muscle managed to get itself, and then you get those big ass nuts, you know. But anyways, that's how I felt them in my body. That's what I feel happens in my body, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for everyone else because we all have the same type of body, right? So well, right now I'm helping the stretch. If you can, that's great. If you can't, well, it is what it is. But it's still the same concept. You want to relax into it. Oh man, I can feel it. As you can see, my knees are like trying to bend. I could feel it all the way to my left ankle. What you call it? So with the knees, once you build all that pressure around the knees, right? Like it starts hurting. It starts giving you problems, and you just gotta stretch a bit. Like literally, just stretch a bit. Walk a little bit more. Force yourself to like do the extra step and stop marrying yourself to the pain and the idea that you're not gonna ever get better. You know what I mean? You choose what you want to do. If you want to get better, you will. And if you want to get worse, you will. If you keep saying, oh man, I'm only going to get worse. Oh, it's only downhill from here. Oh, da 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 da. Then it's going to happen because you're manifesting it. You're making it happen. I thought the same thing because I was like, man, I'm 27 years old. I told somebody, hey, like it was an old man too. It's like, hey man, I have knee pains. Like, he just told me you're too young to have knee pains. Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. Hey, body, what's wrong with you? We're 27. You're not supposed to have these pains. I didn't know. I didn't. So, but then I went to a chiropractor, and Dr. Smart, she helped me a lot. She helped me a lot. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gotten to this point either. Because I went there expecting, like, what happened was, I had grown the strength to the point where I could run with something that was 100 pounds on my shoulder like it was nothing. Like, it didn't even bother me. But one time, I couldn't find an apartment. It was before that, right? Yeah. It was just a bit before that. Where I was no. I was just carrying a 75-pound mini fridge. I had been running around for a very long time. Like it was already past Harvey time. I was still kind of out of shape. It was a little bit before. No. It was before Harvey. Before I started seeking a lot more help. Before I started seeking help. After Harvey, it was a different story. Um, Anyways, whatever. It doesn't matter. Timeline doesn't matter. The point is, I was carrying a mini fridge on my back, and like for a good 15 minutes, running around looking for this apartment. I couldn't find it, so I finally put it down. But what I didn't realize is how exhausted I was, because what I was focused on was not my physical body, not how I felt, but getting to this apartment. I needed to get to this apartment. But if I would have just taken a second from the beginning to look first and then go, I wouldn't have had that issue, right? Anyway, so when I slowed down, like since I was more tired than I realized, I swayed a little bit forward and I nicked my back a little bit, right? And that's how I introduced myself into a chiropractor. That was in my route. I asked, like, hey, do you take the insurance I have? Like, I never got insurance for work before, but this is the first time I did. And she's like, yeah, I do. And so I went in there and started going more free. Like, I went in there, and they did the TENS unit treatment. They did some x-rays to see what was going on in my body and everything. And eventually they got to my calves, right? But those were the biggest ones I had, because I had gotten so tight that whenever I stepped out of my bed, right, I would immediately feel pain, like sharp pain, like it was ripping at the tendons already. It was there. It was borderline ripping. Every single morning I had to stretch painfully, by the way, just excuse me, just so it wouldn't stop hurt, just so it wouldn't hurt. just so I can move, just so I can walk, just so I can run. I had to run all day. At least that's how I felt, right? And so that opened my eyes and made me realize we're not stuck the way we think we are. We can change it, right? You just have to believe in yourself and your ability to heal. Have that confidence, have that self confidence. You know, normally I would not be doing a video like this. We're half naked, floppy, floppy, you know? uh, but I just, you know what? I don't care. I just don't care anymore. So, oh, you see, like I'm starting to get a little bit looser, and that's it. I mean, like it might not look like much, but I've been feeling the pull from the back of this ankle all the way down my leg and through here. This ankle I've twisted so many times. I think I like popped the bone a little bit out of socket, but like with move, like if I don't figure out which muscles are the tightest holding it in that position, I'm never gonna. Well, I shouldn't say that, but you know, it's not gonna get enough slack to go back in the right place. You know, so with that helping release all that tension, and then getting a chiropractic adjustment or just moving, you know, whatever helps you the most. You know, because sometimes one doesn't work, so the other will. You know, so give either one a shot, you know, moving around, relaxing, letting go. You don't like you give yourself massages, or you can get someone to do it if you don't have the strength, the confidence in yourself to do it. Or you like I mean, you know, sometimes people are in a bad situation. You know, it doesn't matter, you know, whatever you can do. Do whatever you can. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're not doing it to help yourself, is because you're making excuses on why you can't. You know? Uh, oh man, so I felt it all the way. This is my left leg is the worst, and I feel it all the way going up to the glute, like stuck right around this area. Oh, right there, like right there, and it's by like where your hip bone would be. Because all of this, like most of the muscles, like the ones on the top, basically attach here, and the bottom ones they attach all over this area. The ones in here attach all the way to the groin. So, like, you want to stretch your legs as much as you can in all directions to help with your hips. You know, like sometimes the reason your hips and your knees hurt is because these muscles are all tight. So having someone that can release it all the way to like the top, all the way to this areas where they actually are attached to is good, you know. All right. So now I have to take a second because oh man, you heard that knee? Oh, it's like everything is moving. And like when I do this, I feel the stretch up to the back, and you can feel it. Let me go the other way. Anyways, so I try not to, like I try to keep it kind of twisted, right? So like I don't feel it as much on this side, but on the other side I felt it closer to this part. You know, I felt it stretch all the way across. When I do this on this side, feel a stretch here on the glute in this area, right? So if you're having pains here, you can do a stretch like this to kind of help you, you know? And then just go for it. You can kind of bobble it. If you feel like you can't do it by yourself, you can either use your hand to help your leg and like kind of drop it on your own, or have somebody help you. Do not be scared. You know, the more scared you are of moving and doing all this stuff, the more tense you're gonna be. If you're tense, your muscles are not relaxing. And whenever I do this, whenever I get tense, like my problem areas hurt more. So right here is getting tight on this arm that I haven't worked on, you know. And whenever I do that, I feel it. Whenever I do this, I feel those joints in certain areas that hurt. because I haven't released the tension there. So you want to stay as relaxed as you can. If you don't want to practice relaxation with the stretching, then do it on its own. Like just lay down and just breathe. Turn everything off, all the noise, everything. Just sit in complete silence. You know, and try not to think, at least negatively. You know, be in the present moment. Be aware of everything that's around you. You know, I've been talking to you the entire time, but I know the yard workers are out there working, you know, and they're over there somewhere, you know, in that direction. You know, I hear the birds chirping, you know, and everything. I just, like, you know, I'm been aware of the whole place the whole time. I know how dead silent my house feels right now, you know? And I can hear whenever my cats start fighting, basically, you know? So all of that, and this is what it looks like from the front view, you know? Like you see how my body's twisting, my rib cage is twisting, and everything is twisting. But it's everything in your body is meant to move pretty much. Like, so if you're having pains, it's not because, at least in my personal opinion, in my body, what I've felt is like every pain is just an indication that my body needs to move more. Like in those areas, they need to stretch. It's too tight. You know, it could be other things as well, but that's why you have to kind of be body conscious and start feeling your own body and asking yourself, how does my body feel today? What do you got going on? Like, where do you feel the tightest? I've been feeling pain and stress, like kind of like been feeling pretty stiff around my hips. You know, so doing stuff like this helps. And I can't wait for this ankle to be better. But I definitely feel it. Like the left ankle, I feel it right in this area somewhere, like right in here. This was been holding my ankle in such a weird position. Ooh, like right there. That spot right there. It hurts, so I'm gonna mess with it until it doesn't. And I'm telling you, it hurts. But don't focus on the hurt. Focus on what you're doing instead, and then just feel how it goes away. You know, and then sometimes just moving it around. See? Oh, it's popping, right? So it's popping in the front. You see, these ligaments are tight. That's what's popping. So you start working on that area, like right there, and then just twist. And just keep spinning it. And just sit in awkward silence, you guys. I'm just messing. And then bring your toes up lightly, and then press, and then bring them down, curl them down. And you hear it popping, right? You hear it. Well, I think you are. Who knows, right? I need to get it that close. So just doing that. Ooh, and then like it feels like it's burning, like I'm working out, because obviously I'm moving it, right? But then I release it, and it's like now it's not popping as much. You know, and I mean, it feels a bit tired because obviously I was pressing on it, but that's because I was forcing it to let go, and it was working harder to let go. I could feel the blood flow going through it, like my toes are getting cold now because I've released some of that tension in there, you know? And then it doesn't feel tender, it doesn't hurt. Like I know it got worked on, but it doesn't hurt, you know? And now, like this area feels a little bit better. So then you can move to another spot, like right here. Like if I dig in there, it starts to hurt. So same thing, up and then twist. And now you see how it's starting to click again? It's because those are the muscles that are tight that are holding everything together. So you just keep doing. Man, I didn't realize. I'm gonna have to put this on YouTube too, and then maybe if I can on TikTok, I can feel, oh, there's the muscle. Oh my, that one. Right there. Oh, it's like, so as you loosen up the top layers, you start getting deeper in. And when you get deeper in, oh, there we go. Like you start loosening up more stuff, and like you keep getting deeper, it might start hurting more and stuff like that. And whoo, ah, and like, oh, you see that? Like now the toes let go. Those are for the toes. And then same thing with the toes, you can just bring them down, and now it doesn't feel as much of a stretch as it was before. So you just keep going like this. Ooh, right there, those are toes. Don't be afraid. The way I see it is our bodies are flexible, our bodies are malleable. Like, come on, man. Like, if we were, like, we're not rigid. Look at it, floppy woppy, you know? Like, we're mobile. Like, our stuff moves, you know? This is not fat. Well, at least not that I know of. I'm just kidding. I can't flex this thing right now. Like, this is not fat, right? Floppy. But it's like, if you're rigid all the time, then yeah, maybe you'll feel like you can break easily, but you can't. You know, your body moves, your body flexes, your body stretches, so don't be afraid. Like, that felt so good that I want to sleep now. Like, my foot is relaxed, my toes are relaxed. Like, I mean, I know my toes still kind of look like this, but they don't feel like that as much anymore, you know? Like, I don't know. And then, of course, I want to strengthen my toes going down, because as you can see, they don't have as much strength. They're so tight. And that's because we're, like, especially the older shoes, I guess, the normal shoes, since they most of the time end up compressing your toes because they have that small little narrow shoes, and your toes don't move. Now you can't move them. If you do that to anything, any part of your body, it's going to do that. Don't believe me, ask people that wear casts. Why do they have to relearn how to use their body? So it's the same thing. You're wearing a cast in the form of a shoe. If it's too tight, if it's not letting those toes move. And I've been working on it myself, you know? I don't know. But anyways. Oh. Ooh. That felt good. And then like this. This is another stretch I like to do here. And it helps with parts of the leg. Like, I usually feel the stretch kind of like on the IT band too. You can bring your knee up and then flip. Ooh. And then I could go all the way to the hip. So on this side, like that. Like, or you could just keep it down and then go like this. And I feel it on my hip. Oh. You know? Oh, and it popped on my knee. Oh, well, that's it for me today. I'm good.